Yo, what is going on, guys? It is Monster Chappie. We're back for part 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the Super Custom Offensive Scheme Breakdown. If you missed part 4, it is on the Madden Mastermind YouTube channel. And part 3.5, which will definitely help you in the running game, is on Maddenmastermind.com in the basic membership section. We're back here, and today we're going to be breaking out two formations. One of which I run a whole lot of, and one of which everybody else runs a whole lot of, and that you've probably seen a billion times. So, for anybody out there that's already put out tips on this formation, the bunch tight end, sorry, I'm sure some stuff's going to overlap. I don't really know. I don't care. I run most of the stuff stock as it is, so, I'm giving credit to Madden for these plays. Anyways, the two formations we're looking at today, guys, is going to be the bunch tight end and the pistol trips here. So let's look at the bunch tight end first. The run I like out of this play is the counter. I don't know why. I'm not a huge fan of the strong power out of this play. I mean, I've seen it work for people, but I don't know. I prefer the counter and prefer to run it right or left. But we broke that down in part 4 and part 3.5 on how we like to run. So with that said, I'm not going to break down any further runs. First play we're looking at is PA fork. And for this play, I'll usually block Charles here, or I'll put him on a curl, and then you can block the tight end, or you can put him on a drag or whatever you want. Or, I've seen some people run it where they put this little dude here on a flat, the outside wide receiver, and run it like that. Really, it doesn't matter. I mean, there's been enough tip videos on this play where I'm not really going to be able to add too much to it at this point of the year. But pretty much the main routes, again, are going to be the guy across the middle and then that corner route there from Avant. Now, you can put this guy on a drag, kind of get the same effect with the flat curl combo or flat corner combo. You can run something like that. The last thing is you can user catch the outside route to bow. And if you can't really catch that route, again, you can feel free to hot route them to a fade there, but you can definitely user catch that route as I get about to get picked off right there. But that's just something you're gonna have to work on. Work on your users, get that down, get the timing and stuff like that. Again, Bo is a good receiver to do it with, not a great one though. But either way, I'm gonna try to make it happen one time for you guys. So there it is. You can use your catch with Bo. Anyways, that's besides the point. So that's that play. Like I said, I'm not going to dive too much into it. That play has been beat to death already. There's multiple ways you can run it. There's a lot of ways different people run it, and I don't really favor any one way or the other. The only two routes that I feel you need to keep on the field are the middle post and the deep out route there. Otherwise, the other three guys, you can do whatever you want with those three, The next play I like is the halfback slip screen. And there's two ways to run this, really. You can either leave it default, or you can run it as such. What I'll do is I'll put Avant here on a streak, and then I will put Avery on a drag. So I'll streak the inside wide receiver and drag the middle one. And as you can see here, so we get sacked there. Let's try that again. What we're going to do, hit this joker here on a drag, and then try to get a couple yards. Or you can just dump it down to the halfback. Doesn't really matter. Either way, that's one way to run it. Another way to run it is as a makeshift screen, which is actually really nice. You can just put the dude on a little flat route or something like that, and just kind of chuck it out to him and try to get, some good yards that way. Either way you run it, it's definitely solid. Definitely a solid little mix-in play. Not something you want to do all day long, but definitely something that mixed in with the rest of the plays in this formation can definitely be real tough. And so another play I like out of this formation is the fake screen, as we'll break it down here. And the reason I like this play a lot is mainly because of Bo's route as well as Avery's and Avant. So like these three routes, you want to leave those three every single time. But what you do with the tight end and what you do with the halfback is entirely up to you. Typically, what I'll do is I'll either block the halfback, or maybe sometimes I'll curl him, or I'll leave him on his default route. But I definitely usually streak the tight end like almost every single time. The reason I do that is because if he gets a little gap there, you can make that quick pass. But I'm going to let the play run through one time so you can see what I'm talking about with the rest of the stuff. Just going to let that sit there. All right, cool. Like I said, to get through stuff quicker, I'm not going to run the play a million times. We'll just go to replay and I'll tell you the reads instead. So on this particular play, one of the key routes is this. It don't matter kind of which zone they play. Doesn't matter. He's going to be wide open. And he might not get a lot of yards. Like if they run cover 2 or something, there's probably going to be a defender. Instead of being way back here, the defender might be like right here. So you might only get like 3, 2, 4 yards, but you're going to get positive yards, and it's not going to get picked off, and it's definitely going to be something safe that you can check down to, especially late. Like he just stays open. You know what I'm saying? You don't usually want to throw this pass right away, but if you wait just a little bit, and then boom, he's there, he's available. Then you got this halfback on this delay route, and the reason I like him is because if they run a cover 3, his delay route takes off a little bit later, and it picks up blitzes, and then you can check it down to him, and again, you can get like 5 yards or 3 or 4 or something. And then you got the tight end, of course, and then this guy going across the middle. I'll wait for him to get past this dude, and then precision down right there. And that's going to be nasty money. So let's audible into a cover 2 or something like that. So they got more underneath zones. And then we'll still see hopefully the same effect. You got the tight end there. And again, you got square just wide open there on the left side. I would have definitely hit him a while ago. But he's open. Just it doesn't matter. He just stays open. And he can go get a good amount of yardage, you know what I'm saying? So as far as this route goes, you can try and face catch this or user catch it or something like that, or you can wait. If they're in like a cover 2, you can hit him when he gets to the outs or precision outside or something like that. It is going to take a little while to develop. Now let's say they do I don't know, I guess if they did something like this, some people do stuff like that. I guess you would have them available over the top there. But most of the time, he's either going to be blatantly open or you're going to have to try and user catch it. But otherwise, you're better off going somewhere else on the play. And then the last play we're going to look at is definitely one of the favorites that a lot of people like using, and I've seen it a million times. So like I said, I'm not really adding anything to this play, is the cross drag. What I like to do is I'll either block the halfback or I'll put him on a flat to the left there. And again, you can either hit him there and use your tight end as a lead blocker, or you can hit the tight end. Like this play just gets under so many zones. That's why a lot of people like it, especially in short yardage situations, because the tight end almost every single time is wide open. Like he's just wide open. I don't know why, but he's just open. Then you got the drag. You know what I'm saying? So you got those 2 routes. And then the other stuff, if they start manning stuff up, if they start using one of the 2, then you've got like the dude going on a little deeper slant. Another thing you can do to this play, again, is get the user catch going to Bo for a deep option. Or, again, you could leave Bo on that route and, he'll sometimes get open across the middle here. So it just really depends what you're looking for to get. But this play is, regardless, as long as you got that tight end and Avant and Avery on their routes, you can do pretty much whatever you want with the running back and the outside wide receiver on the right. I've seen a couple people, they'll do like motion hikes. The reason I don't do many motion hikes is because I feel like it gives stuff away if you don't use it all the time. So if you are going to motion hike, make sure there's some other stuff that you do that involves motion hiking. Otherwise, it's going to be pretty obvious as to what you're doing on that particular play. But that's pretty much all I run out of that. I was running the spot option for a bit, but I didn't like it as much after I ran it a few times. There was a play in the Saints playbook that I love to death, but that's that. And, everything else in here, I pretty much don't run. I don't run a lot of plays out of this formation, but that doesn't make it not a very, very crazy effective formation. There's a reason almost everyone uses it, and it's just a really tough formation. Some people only use 2 or 3 plays out of it, and they run their entire scheme out of those 2 or 3 plays, just making different adjustments to the plays that I've broken down, or maybe an additional play like verticals or something. But either way, next formation we're looking at is the pistol trips. And in this formation, the counter and the strong power are both good, as well as the halfback dive. So those are the runs we'd use. We'll run the halfback slip screen here. And like I said, for this one, you can either put the running back on a flat and run it as a makeshift screen, or just put the middle receiver on a drag, since we've already kind of broke down a very similar play. And the bunch tight end, I'm not going to go into that in too much detail again. But you can just put that middle dude on a drag and either hit the drag or the halfback, depending on whoever's open. Now, this is one of the formations in the game where I actually do really like the wide receiver screen out of this play, out of this particular formation. And pretty much all I do on this is I'll streak Kelsey and I'll streak Charles, and that's it. That's pretty much my adjustments. And we'll go through the replay here. Typically what'll happen is, if they're in a good defense to stop the screen, usually I only run the screen if they base align though. I don't usually run the screen if they're not base aligned. So let's go ahead and get that out of the way there. Usually for this play, especially for any screens like this where I do a bubble screen or smash or whatever, I do it only when they base align. And the reason for that is because we have numbers on the outside which give us a huge advantage. So let's say even if they shift the linebackers over, bring him down or whatever, we're still going to have a huge numbers advantage. And so we can either hit this tight end here. You can try and hit him. Like I said, it's not a route you want to throw very often. That's only going to be something if it's blatantly open that you go to. Let's say they're blitzing like crazy, or maybe they use or lurk with the middle linebacker to take away Bo or something. Then you got him available. And then for the halfback, I really like his route because he does get open out of the backfield really effectively. Let's go ahead and baseline here again. Press coverage, pass commit, and let's shift the linebackers to the left. Bring him over. And again, I think the halfback, he gets open underneath this zone just about every time. Now, you're not going to get a lot of yards, and it really depends on how the play develops. But otherwise, that's that route. Now, again, those are 2 routes that only if you're only really going to ever throw those 2 routes if they take away the wide receiver screen. And by take away, I mean they literally come down here, move a dude over there and use her, or they put him a dude way down here, put him on a flat, in which case you may just want to audible out of the play. But let's say they're base line like this, even if they shift the linebackers over, you're still going to have this available to Bo and get money with that. And hopefully they pick up the flat zone. That's the most important thing. If they pick up that flat zone, that's going to be money all day long. So let's go ahead and throw that again. This time he gets that. Now, Bo isn't the best dude to throw this to because, again, he's not very fast. He's not Excel. You really want a faster dude when you're throwing this particular play. So that's why it's good to have a balanced wide receiver, dude that can face catch and as well do, athletic ability as far as speed and Excel goes. So that's the wide receiver screen. I usually like that play against, like I said, zone blitzes. Maybe they're running fire zone 3 or any kind of cover 3 blitz where there's no flat zones. That's when it's ideal. So like if they ran the Sam Blitz 3 here, that would be ideal. So let's say they're running the Sam Blitz 3 here. Even if they don't base line here, you're going to be able to get a good amount of yards. So cover 3 blitzes, any kind of blitz like that where there's no flat zone, that's when it's best to run that play. The next play we're going to look at is verticals. So with the verticals play, I usually run it this way. I'll either go ahead and put him on a slant and then put Charles on a flat there. That's one way I like running this play. And as you're going to see, the slant opens up. Got picked off right there. Like I said, I mean, if they don't come down, then you can just check it down to the halfback. But 9 times out of 10, guys, when you run this play like this, they're going to jump down to Charles. And then once they do, that's going to open up the tight end on a slant. He'll be wide open. You can use or catch the route with Bo. Otherwise, you got Avery there going across the middle, and he's a little too deep for the other guy to take away. Now, another thing you can do, another setup is you can put Kelsey here on a fade, and I'll just leave Charles on his default route there. And then we'll just wait for him to get across the middle there. And hopefully more is taken away at that point, but unfortunately didn't happen that time. Like I said, you don't never want to force anything. I'm just kind of forcing these passes for the sake of example, but you can go ahead and hit that route there, kind of take away the deep zone and then hit him in the deep corner. Another setup I like is I'll do this right here. I'll put this guy on a drag. That way, if your opponent's running some deeper zones or cover 4 or anything where they got a lot of guys going deep, you can check down there. So this is just another option. You can also do something like this if you like. Whatever works best for you. Again, this dude on his default little delay curl is nice because he gets underneath every zone in the game. So that's verticals though. I mean, you can run it a few different ways. Whatever you like, depending on the defense your opponent's playing, you may want to attack different parts of the field. That's why I like the play so much, is because it has options. Pretty much the only route that you need to leave stock is the route going across the middle. Everything else you can kind of change depending on the needs or depending on what it is your opponent is doing. And so, you can adjust that play many different ways to get success depending on the situation and then depending on the defense your opponent likes running. Now, the smash play, very similar to last time. We're going to run this against people that run cover 2 and that run cover 2 invert. And the reason for that is, again, because we want to make sure we don't just get killed by cover 2 or cover 2 invert. Pretty much that route going to the corner is going to be the moneymaker. But another adjustment I like making on this play is I'll put Kelsey here on an in route. And what that'll do is it'll just get underneath and get a nice amount of yards. I don't like the drag because it's a little too quick. And we've already got that hitch route over there. But I like the in route there because it definitely just, he's going to get nice yardage. So that's one adjustment you can make to the smash play. And if you do that, you can also put Charles here on a curl instead. So you can run it like this. But whatever happens, just in case they're using the middle linebacker, that'll open that up. And then you'll just pretty much be flooding the left side of the field like crazy. You have a couple of verticals. You'll have 3 shorter routes. And it's just too much for any pretty much zone defense to be able to cover. And so that'll just, leave everything wide open for you. But again, that's pretty much going to be our cover 2 or cover 2 invert beater. It can be effective. Like I said, it can be effective against like a cover 3. But again, I just prefer it against the cover 2 because then it opens up the corner route. Like I said, the corner and the deep zone are both taken away in the cover 3. And so we have options available, but they're limited. You know what I'm saying? So you want to make sure on any play that you have multiple options open. So like they're running cover 3. Yeah, we can get that past the bow, no doubt. But that's only one option. So let's say they move the dude over, take that away. Now our only options are going to be Kelsey and Charles here. So, I mean, while those are 2 good options to have, we only have 2 options. And if they use one of them or if they blitz, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I typically only run that play against people that run cover 2 or cover 2 invert. So that's that. So the next play we're going to look at is something we kind of broke down already in part 4, but we're going to break it down again. PA counter waggle. It's pretty much the same thing. All we're going to do is we're either going to put this guy here on a fade and then block the halfback, or we can put him on a flat to the right. Just depends on the opponent. And if you want, you can go ahead and put the outside receiver there on a fade or a streak, whatever you're more comfortable user catching. But it's the same thing. You got these reads. Once this guy gets to the corner, he's going to be wide open. And you know, you're just going to be able to get a whole bunch of yards right there. So that's that play. Like I said, I broke this down in part 4 in a little more detail, so you can check it out there. Another option again is to just do something like this. If you want, even you can probably put this guy on a drag. It's entirely up to you. Like I said, everything, there's no set in stone way to run any of these plays. It just really depends on your opponent again. And then the last play I like out of this playbook, or out of this formation, and the last pistol play I pretty much run is fake wide receiver screen. And this play is actually good against cover 3 or cover 2 or cover 2 invert. And we'll see why here in a second. But pretty much we got either circle or triangle wide open against cover 2 invert. One of the two dudes is going to get open just about every single time. The adjustments I like to make on this play is I'm either going to put the halfback on a streak, or I'll put him on a flat. Like, let's say they're blitzing off the right side, I'll put a flat over there. But usually it's either going to be a streak, I'm going to block, or I'll put him on a flat. And it's just like last time with this. Again, we got this guy going across the middle there. I really like his route for precision inside versus cover 2. Now let's say they run cover 3. In this case, then we got this little hitch here. Precision down that. You know, you can pick up a couple yards. You're probably not going to get too many just because of how the blocks develop. But, you know, this is definitely a really, really solid play that you can utilize. You know, get your running back into some open space, get him some more yards. And that's pretty much it for the pistol. I mean, we've broken down pistol wide trips, pistol ace, and the pistol excuse me, ace twins in the previous video, and we broke down the pistol bunch tight end as well as the pistol trips in this video. So, you know, definitely make sure you pay attention to part 4, part 5, as well as the other previous sections of the videos for this free offensive scheme. And usually this is the base of the scheme. These 5 formations, these pistol formations, that's what I'm in most of the game. And then, you know, single back and shotgun offers a nice variety or a nice changeup or a nice flip in the scheme that people maybe are not accustomed to seeing or not used to. But usually this is what I run as the base of the scheme. I usually run first. And if they slow down to run or, you know, whatever the case, you still got to keep them honest. You still got to pass quite a bit just to, you know, keep your opponent on their toes. Make sure that you're mixing it up. But with even just this much of the scheme, you should, you know, if you run it properly, you should have a very difficult offense to stop. Now, we do have some shotgun stuff I'm going to be adding, so, you know, definitely be on the lookout for the future parts to come. But as far as the pistol and the single back and how to user catch and how to run, I've broken all that down, so just check all those parts out. The earlier parts of the scheme are on my channel, the Madden Mastermind YouTube, and the Madden Mastermind site, and get all that details for that. So that's going to do it for me, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to drop a like if you did. And, you know, leave feedback. Always much appreciated. Till the next time, it's been real. It's been fun. Monster Chappie. We gone.